Alcohol harm within the workplace is significant and broad-ranging. Indeed, a 2007 study showed that alcohol misuse costs the Scottish economy £856 million each year. It's important to note though at this point that workplaces are often a reflection of what is happening in broader society. So as alcohol consumption and harm has increased in Scotland, so has the impact within workplaces. But let's focus now on what can specifically be done within the workplace to reduce harm caused by alcohol. In 2011, Alcohol Focus Scotland were delighted to be asked to be a partner in the European Workplace and Alcohol Project. This 3-year pan-European project involved 13 different countries and had the main aim of investigating which workplace interventions were most effective. Some of the key interventions that were identified as being most effective were the development of a workplace alcohol policy, the delivery of awareness-raising sessions for staff, and training for managers on how to effectively implement a workplace alcohol policy. One of the main elements of this European study was the delivery of pilot interventions in 4 workplaces across Scotland. We are now going to hear from 2 of the workplaces which took part in these pilot interventions as part of the European project. You'll get a chance to hear directly from them how the interventions have had an impact within their workplaces.
Turning Point Scotland's one of Scotland's biggest social care charities. We employ 1,500 staff, about 1,500 staff, and we've got services right across Scotland, way up in Aberdeen, down in Dumfries and Galloway, and we provide a whole range of services for people with mental health problems, learning disabilities, homeless, people with addictions, people in the criminal justice system, plus some specialist services for people with Huntington's disease. So the services can be anything from the large drug crisis centre in West Street, Glasgow, to supporting individuals in their own homes. Turning Point Scotland were really excited to be involved in the EWA project. We'd got to the point where we were wanting to review our alcohol policy in the workplace, but to be honest, because we're a big organisation, we weren't sure how to go about it because we wanted it to be meaningful. We wanted to bed it in right across the company and for it to be meaningful. So what being involved with the pilot helped us with was to focus. And one of the most important things was, one of the first things we did was the baseline questionnaire, where we sent out a confidential questionnaire to all our staff members. And we actually got a surprisingly good return from that. And it gave us an overview of the company, our own staff's view of their issues and their ideas and their knowledge and awareness of alcohol in the workplace, so, and in their own personal life as well. So it was a really good starting point for us to be involved with the baseline questionnaire, and then when we'd done the interventions with the support of the coordinator from Alcohol Focus Scotland, it really helped us then to look back after the baseline to see the impact of the interventions. As part of the EWA project, the main interventions were the development of our new policy, and then the launch of the new policy. We had a launch event here that involved mocktails, and it was fun, but the message got across, and we publicised that right across the company. And we also got assistance from Alcohol Focus Scotland as part of the pilot to train our managers in the policy and the implementation of it, the meaningful implementation of it in the workplace. The legacy of Turning Point Scotland's involvement in the EWA pilot is that we've got a really robust policy now that's embedded right across the workplace, and that takes some doing, but I think we've achieved that. And also now what we've done is embedded that policy and the learning from it in our wellbeing at work programme. This year we're focusing on stress, and obviously we'll be using our contacts with Alcohol Focus Scotland to support us with that bit of the programme. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend to other employers to implement an alcohol policy in the workplace. But what I would recommend is that you bed it in right across the company, from senior management level right the way through, but also that you maybe seek some external support to do it, because it certainly worked for us.
Glasgow Recycling is a social enterprise. It's been operating now for 7 years. It's doing 3 things. One is recycling, reusing reclaimed timber. It's involving volunteers in all of the process, and it's also trying to create employment and opportunities for people who maybe come through the place. It's based on a model of community wood recycling that operates throughout the UK. We're one of about 25 operations, similar operations. And at the minute we're the only ones in Scotland, so if there's anybody else out there looking to try and get involved in community wood recycling, we'd love to see somebody else in Scotland doing the same thing. We get involved in the EWA project in large part because as a small small newish organisation, our systems are always, I guess, early days been lagging behind what we would like. And I suppose over time we realised that from time to time there'd be wee issues about alcohol or concerns or things that we felt we needed to address, and 1 or 2 wee issues, nothing major, were coming up. Once the project actually started, we conducted a questionnaire with staff and volunteers, all of us, about alcohol issues. Then we had a worker came back in and we did an awareness session based around about some of the issues that came up. Lots of information was provided, some tools and ideas and suggestions, and that ultimately ended up in us creating an alcohol policy for the organisation, which previously we hadn't even thought about up until our contact. So that was really, really valuable for us. The legacy we've had as an organisation is quite there's quite a number of things I would say as a legacy for us. One is we're much better informed as an organisation about how to support people. Lots of the people everybody who works here, virtually volunteers and staff, are now able to be signposted and greater awareness of the issues about alcohol, and that's definitely the case. And for us as well as a wee organisation, not having had a policy, that policy is going to take us on in the future, and it's something to refer to. The creation of the policy was a joint effort between us and Alcohol Focus Scotland, and it was really, really useful for us. And I think for any other smaller organisation, it's really, really useful to get that input from somebody. It's additional, it's not a drain on us, it's help, it's advice and support from somebody who knows what the issues are and who's well used and well versed in things around about alcohol. So we've benefited lots in terms of the support for people. We have a policy for going forward. I would certainly recommend for any other small organisation who might be struggling to deal with that themselves to get in touch. I'm listening to an advert now for Alcohol Focus Scotland, but definitely it was a big help to us, and it's there for the future. So.